Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Drop the puck out. Drop it.
Okay. Sergeant at Arms report, please.
So Tim back out here again, right?
Yes, sir.
So good morning, past President Ann. Thank you for doing this morning and filling in. And to our members on Zoom, welcome. Can you hear me okay? You guys hear me okay? Good, okay. So this morning, just a couple of quick things this morning. COVID. So for the last 3 months, I've had a crew of 4 working at a big job on the lake. All 4 of them have COVID. All their wives have COVID. All their kids have COVID. And one of them is a grandfather in the family, and he's quite ill with it. So it's not over yet. Please be safe. Be careful out there. Let's address the Blue Jays. So the Blue Jays are back in town. Home openers tomorrow. The boys of summer are back. So that's something to look forward to. Leafs played a heck of a game last night, but I have to tell you, a week ago Sunday, I took my daughter and my granddaughter down to the garden, So that's going back to watch the Leafs beat Florida. We were right at the rail, and it was wonderful. We had fantastic seats. All that was in front of us was the clear plastic and the net. It was just amazing. I'm really a kid at heart when it comes to the Leafs. They're one of my customers. They have season tickets there. I think they have tickets there because they built the building, so that's great. Anyway, so a lot of you, and I'm running into this all the time, I'm finding people don't, because it's free now, you don't need a sticker on your plates. You don't have to pay anything. A lot of people say, well, I don't have to do anything. Well, no, you got to register your plates. And a lot of people don't know that. And Chief, could you just address that for us?
Sure can, Al. Because I'm in a big fight with the ministry right now because I'm the big bad guy that's telling everybody it's not as good as they keep saying. So I might have been misquoted a couple of times, but so the bottom line is the government, it must be an election year or something, because they relieved the price of people having to pay for their, which is good. I'm not opposed to that. But what they're not telling people, and it's in the fine print, you still have to go every year, either go online or go in person to Service Ontario, show your proof of insurance, get your vehicle registered. They're just not going to give you a sticker anymore. You don't have to pay, but if you don't, you'll pay $110 to us for having an expired plate. So either way, go to the Service Ontario on your birthday, get your sticker.
Yeah.
They're not going to give you a sticker, but at least register and update your license. The reason they're doing it is because if you don't pay your 407 tolls, you don't pay your parking tickets, you can't get your vehicle registered. So bottom line, you still got to go do it. Where we're fighting with the government is if they're going to go all that work, they don't have to charge you, but at least give you a sticker and put it on your car, and then we'll know if you're valid or not.
And there you have it from the Chief of Police, who is a part of Rotary. And you got to admit, it's wonderful to have him as a member of our club, isn't it? It really is.
It's not going to get you out of that $110 ticket, Al.
And just in closing, President Ann, I want to thank Alison because our guest speaker this morning, it didn't work out. So Alison has stepped up at the last minute to do her vocational. And thank you so much for that. Thank you. And Eleanor, a great job leading us this morning. Thank you. What a wonderful voice. Okay, that's all, President Ann, past President Ann.
Thank you. And I would like to point out that it was our Sergeant at Arms' birthday a few days ago.
Yes,
so happy birthday, Al. Hope you had a great day.
I'm only 35, but I've had a rough life.
Thank you. Okay, and thank you for the tip about registering the license. I wasn't aware of that. I have done it, but I wasn't aware that that was necessary now. So, so I'm going to move over to our vocational speaker today, Alison. Do we have an introduction, Jen? Okay, all right. Stage is yours, Alison.
Thank you. Just tell me if you can't hear me at home. Just yell. Okay. I just have a slideshow, just some pictures. Yeah.
Not that one. Now, if you had me looking after all this, you'd have no problems at all, right? It'd be a disaster.
Okay. Thanks everyone for having me speak tonight. Alison Jacks, born 1974. I was born in Toronto. My parents moved to Tottenham when I was very young, and we lived there our whole lives. My parents still live in the house that we were born and raised in, most of us. I'm the oldest of five. We have a very close family, which is great. My parents are originally from Northern Ontario, my dad from North Bay, my mom from Sudbury. So we've always vacationed up north, Thessalon, Manitoulin Island. That's very much, and always as a family, even though there's so many of us.
Just tell me when.
So next. So first, I'm a mother. This is a picture coming up. My son then, my son now, Brandon, he's a typical kid raised in Tottenham, good kid, sports, hockey, rugby, soccer. He spent a number of years in the restaurant industry. He was a general manager last for Beer Town in Barrie when it opened, and now he's decided at 31 years old that he's going to become an electrician. So he's doing that right now. And I think I said in the good news, he's having a baby. So I'm going to be a grandmother. So that's exciting. Yes. And then the next slide. I found myself being a mother again. So a few years ago, I met Nate and Layla about 5 years ago when Layla was 9 years old. So I met Nate at the local bar that's now a Playland. So it does happen. I think I'd been there maybe 5 times since I moved to Innisfil 8 years ago, and went with a friend and met Nate, and we've been together ever since. Layla's 14 now. She's in grade 9 at Nantire. A beautiful little girl, very well behaved, really a joy. And raising a son, not knowing I'd ever be a mother again of a daughter, I'm really enjoying it. So that's nice. Next slide. Got married recently. So Nate and I had never been married, either of us. So we got married, and we got married at the Guildford Hall. So we love living here, and a friend introduced us to the Guildford Hall. And it was great because my husband's very shy. And he said he would absolutely not do anything for his 40th birthday. And I said, well, actually, you're getting married. That's what you're going to do on your 40th birthday. So we got married on September 21st, and he turned 40 on the 22nd. He made a joke that he would only ever have a pig roast for his birthday, and he doesn't really like people. So it would just be a small pig and just us. And instead, we did have a pig roast, but we had a wedding outdoor of 200 people. So he survived. Yeah, I'm the opposite. Big family, love people. So, but he did have a good time. And then the next slide, I need you to, for sure, tell him when you meet him that you saw this picture and you love it, because he hates it. And I used it as our thank you card, and he was furious. So, but anyway, no. And so we've been together for over 5 years and very happy. And it's great. And we live here in Innisfil. We love it. So my legacy of volunteering and giving back. My grandmothers and my mother were very big volunteers. My dad's mother, before she passed away in her 80s, was the international ambassador for Ringette. So she traveled all over the world. My grandfather actually invented Ringette, but passed away very young. So she took up the role and did that her whole life. Volunteered at her church, the Catholic Church, and then Ringette. My mother, same thing, PTA, raising 5 kids, but always volunteered at the church. She is still the president of St. Vincent de Paul in Colgan, so in Tottenham. And this is my mother's mother. She passed away a year ago, 1 week before she turned 101. So this picture is her 100th birthday during COVID. She was in a home in Owen Sound and we couldn't see her, but that is her with my nephew who was 1. So basically 100 years. And these are her great grandchildren. So I was told that when you're of that age and you're in a home, it's very joyful to be able to count how many great grandchildren you have. So she was blessed and felt that way. We were lucky. She had her mind even up till the day she passed away. So when I'm described in my family for all my volunteer work, I'm most compared to her. She raised 6 children. She was a war vet. And she spent her whole life giving back to her community. She ran the food bank in Sault Ste. Marie. She was a nurse. She was an avid volunteer in the Catholic Church as well. So everyone says that I followed her track. I didn't think that when I was a young adult. I had my son young. And I just got involved the way probably most people here did. I joined a community. Interesting, when I was young, they had just started it was becoming more common, the community-based policing. And I was asked in grade 7 or grade 8 to join as the student rep. And then when I got to high school, I joined student council, of course. I'm sure a lot of people in this room took that path. And then I finished high school, went to university, and after university, I started doing things like volunteering for my high school reunion to help run it. And then a friend of our family was running for local politics. So my first job out of university was working for my uncle. He owned an event company and I did events. And I was the bookkeeper and executive assistant. So I think it's safe to say that all local committees are looking for people with event experience. But I'll tell you for sure, they're always looking for a treasurer. And I think everyone can agree to that. Every time I meet somebody and they say, oh, I'm the head of the Lions, we're looking for a treasurer. What are you doing? I'm like, yeah, treasurer for 6 or 7 committees, actually, ironically. So I did get involved with a campaign for a municipal election, and sort of from there, it marked 25 years of volunteering. And although sometimes the sum of the whole is a lot, I really do love it. So yeah, I have to say that it is when people ask you what your hobby is, I would tell you it's volunteering for me, for sure. Okay, next slide. So my career after university, I went to work for an event company. I learned bookkeeping and from there accounting. I did take some accounting at university, but my degree was in English and history, but never had any inkling of going to teachers college. I tried supply teaching, it just wasn't for me. So from there, I always had jobs doing industry accounting until I moved into public accounting at a firm in Barrie in, I'm going to say 2012. I can't exactly remember. I was there for a long time. I was a very strong bookkeeper. And from there, I learned accounting. And I like it. I like accounting, but I'm not your quintessential accountant. I was never the one that was happy to just sit at a desk doing files. So it was okay because my bosses recognized that. So I did a lot of customer service for 8 years, a lot of running the office, a lot of helping the other staff. and definitely the customer service, always coordinating with the clients. And that kind of tied in with the fact that I did so much volunteer work and I love people. So my network was growing and growing. And one day I decided that I needed a change in my career. And I didn't know what. So I had a business coach at the time, and he said the standard, okay, make a list, you know lots of people, make a list of 20 people who in some way might be able to get you a job. Do they own a company? Do they know lots of people? People that would be a good reference for you. So I just happened to be talking to a girlfriend on the phone who I'd done a lot of volunteer work with in Tottenham. We were on the Tottenham Community Week committee together for years. And you know, the way girlfriends chat, she said, what are you up to? How's work? I said, oh, I need a change, just getting started. With that whole process, which seemed overwhelming, even in my 40s. And she said, well, send me your resume. You know, I know people too. So hung up. And she, without me knowing, faxed my resume to, or emailed my resume to Matthew's house, to the CEO. And I had a job in a week. And I will tell you that I've only been there 9 months, but I am so shocked at the difference 9 months makes. And I will tell you that people talk about their dream job. 100%, this is my dream job. Absolutely tying in my community work and volunteerism with my financial background. I was hired to set up an accounting department. They grew very quickly. And they were basically running a $4 million operation with a part-time bookkeeper and the CEO. So that was easy enough for me to do, go in and set up an accounting department. But from there, I did that starting in July. And a month ago, I was promoted to COO. So that's overwhelming to me. Thank you. I have no medical background, but Kim does, the CEO, and they said that it's a good combination. You still need a business mind. So now a new journey of learning a lot of things. I've never worked with a team of nurses before. That's very different when you have a business mind. Very different. It's like speaking two different languages. So, but I enjoy it. Like, even though we have meetings that I think, eek, that I don't feel like that went so well. Then I go home and, you know, laugh about it, and everybody there is great. So yeah, it's a definitely a new adventure for me, but very exciting. And I feel very grateful and blessed to have this fall on me, basically. Yeah, so next slide, that's Matthew's house. I don't know if anybody's been there before, and it really is amazing. And when I talk about figuring out how to handle the nurses, next slide, the only thing to handle is to keep them on track with the amazing work they do. I say it, I've said it since I arrived. I do the business so they can do the magic. Honestly, we get daily thanks. I'm sure you go through the same thing for the work that the team does, right? And that's got nothing to do with the accounting and shared services. We make it possible for them to do what they do. It's really an amazing place to work, honestly. And when, I mean, I knew of Matthew's house. When you hear hospice, you think very depressing, not at all. And that's, it's considered a gift to help somebody end their life well. And the staff are not, there's no somber, it's bustling. We have a kitchen that's supposed to feel like home, and it does. Our food services coordinators, amazing. feeding the families, feeding the residents. It's great. It's a really good vibe. We really try to make it feel like home, a happy home. So it's great. I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, so that brings me to my conclusion. When my sister and I were in our 20s, and we're the two oldest in the family, we used to always write a joke that we would write a book, you know, we're both single and dating, that was titled If I Was a Guy, I'd Call. But that was back in my, I don't know. I mean, I was volunteering even then. Now I feel like the book I'd write might be some weeks Chronic Volunteer Undone. I'm not sure. Right now, these are the committees I'm involved in. So the Crick Committee in Tottenham was formed 45 years ago when Tottenham needed an arena. And it was actually started by a couple of my dad's good friends. And as committees go and things were faltering in my early 20s, I loved going. It's an annual car draw, basically Tottenham's social event of the year. And it was so fun and for a great cause. All the money goes back into recreation and cultural programs in Tottenham. Tennis courts, lights for ball diamonds, all kinds of things. We work very closely with the town of New Tecumseh to fill in what they can't fund. And it was faltering. So myself and 3 other young women joined, and it's been great. I love it. The Rotary, here I am, and I'm really enjoying it. Thank you, everyone. The Innisfil Lions Club, joined that a few years ago. That's a committee that needs a bit of help. So, yeah, I'm sure you guys might know more than me, but that's all good. Larry, who was the president, has been quite ill and he's now home from the hospital. So that's a good thing. We were at his house last night. Barrie and District Christmas Cheer. I joined that when I joined the accounting firm. It actually was founded in Innisfil. And I love it. It's great. I've met so many people. It's awesome. Giving back at Christmas, Christmas for kids, same thing. Like, how can you not love it? It's so rewarding. And making change is, are you familiar with making change on this committee? Yes. So an anti-Black racism group. I was approached by one of the board members to do the bookkeeping, and for a fee, like they asked me if I would do their bookkeeping. And I said, you know, I'm not to do a quarterly HST return for a not-for-profit. I'm not really looking to make money from a not-for-profit. Why don't I sit on your board as the treasurer? And because I know when you're a startup group, you need board members. And I've been there ever since. My niece, you saw in one of the pictures, is half Jamaican. And I'm watching my sister raise her in Tottenham. So it's kind of close to my heart. You know, there's work to be done for sure in that regard. So, you know, we're plugging away. We're doing educational programs for businesses and schools. And so, yeah, every one of these committees, I love being a part of, and it is a lot, but it's what feeds my soul. I love it. And first comes my family, second comes my career because I have to pay my mortgage. But third will always be volunteering. My dad teased me most of my life saying, oh, good, more free work. But as I've pointed out to him a million times, this is work that people would never get paid to do. And your community is what you make it. So what do you want your community to be? Do you want it to be a community that helps kids at Christmas? Do you want it to be not racist? Do you want lights for the ball diamonds? And he's, he's just teasing me. He volunteers at the food bank. It is what it is, right? Like, if you want your community to be great for you and your kids, it's great if you can find a way to give back. And when people say to me, oh, I just don't think I could do it, we all know some people don't want to volunteer. We need money too. All these groups need money. There's a role for everyone, but we just can't have great communities unless we have these groups. And so I'm just happy to give back and blessed that I've had all these opportunities and met so many great people. And I'm meeting more now. I love meeting people. So, and that's it. That's about me in a nutshell.
Thank you, Alison.
Oh,
Great,
So,
educational
President, I had a
speech.
quick comment.
Go ahead. please.
So I've always maintained in Rotary, we have people in this group who are not only Rotarians and do wonderful work with Rotary, but they do all kinds of stuff out of the community. And I'm looking at Ann Carroll, and you know, Ann is probably the best example we have of someone who just does so much in the community. But all of you, when I look around the room, I've been here for 12 years now, and I see Eleanor, and I think of the humanitarian trips. So we're so blessed, we're so lucky to have the people we have. And Alison, it was so nice this morning to hear about the kids, the grandparents. It's so nice. But what was even nicer was that we can now accept you into our fold. You're another one of these people in the community who does so much. And we're lucky to have you, and you're in good company.
Thank you so much. And just funny on that note, when we were being part of the fundraising team now at Matthew's house, when we talked about the things that we need to do, being relatively new in our growth, Colleen or Kim, somebody said, well, we should probably look at joining the Rotary. And I said, perfect. I've thought about it for a long time now because I've heard you guys are great. Like, you're so vibrant. That's my struggle with the Lions. We'll get there. We'll get there. Yeah. So, I mean, it was when they suggested it at Matthew's house, I was thrilled. I'm happy to be here. In Alison. So that's the thing. People think it's Alliston, maybe new to Tecumseth. It isn't. Our service area goes all the way from King and Caledon to the north part of Bradford to almost Orangeville and Innisfil, like probably Friday Harbor. And this is just for catchment area. It's to do with the government funding. That's how these zones are created. Probably not Friday Harbor. That would probably be Hospice Simcoe, but it's like a hospital. You can go anywhere you want. And we don't compete. We work together, but we do have our catchment area, and ours is quite huge. So now Kim is joining the Rotary in Alliston, and Colleen's joining the Rotary in Bolton, just to get out there and get more involved in our whole area, not just Alliston.
Thank you.
We have 10 residential beds, but we actually, the bigger piece is that we're now opening up 6 more beds for what we call caregiver relief. So part of that is government funded, part of it will be a fee for service. But what we're really finding is that it's not that people can't afford to pay, it's that the services aren't available. So our 10 beds run great, you know, like we're doing that. Our team has a handle on that. We're really trying to grow our community work where you can book a PSW, because when you come home from the hospital, there's some support, but this would be more of it's $36 an hour. You can schedule as much as you want. Things like that, a nurse, a physiotherapist to come for somebody who's end of life who couldn't go to a clinic. Like, they're not going to get up and go to a physio. We have a physiotherapist on staff. We have social workers who will go to your house because you have a life-limiting illness. We're really ramping up that part to meet the need that we're seeing over and over again. So it's great. It's a good time to have joined their team. It's really rewarding. So the question was, is 10 beds enough? To be honest with you, we're typically Okay, sometimes we have a waiting list. We're at usually in the 90% full range, which is when it's time to start growing. So we are embarking on a capital campaign. Our hope, our 1 to 5 to 10-year plan is to have a campus of care. And part of it would be, if possible, to build another wing and have 20 beds. So yes, definitely with the aging population. I mean, we've been talking about the baby boomers for years, and we will see that we have more need. Yeah, definitely.
Questions online?
Sorry, guys, I've had my back to you the whole time. Thank you.
So, President Dean, do you want me to continue with this agenda?
Yeah, go ahead. Thank you very much. Sorry I couldn't be there in person today, but and please continue.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the fishing raffle, you can give us an update on that, Tim? Who's giving us an update on the fishing raffle?
Actually, President Dean,
Yeah, I can do that. I got a notification last night that our posters are ready at the printer, so I'm hoping to go pick them up or get them picked up today or tomorrow. Other than that, Tim sent the digital posters out. I'm just asking everyone to share the crap out of them in social media and put them absolutely everywhere and refresh that page every 20 minutes so it's always at the top.
Thank you, President Dean. Where are we going to put the posters?
Anywhere we can. So there is 10 movie poster size posters. So I assume we would probably contact our sponsors to see if they can hang them up, like Kevin or No Frills, to see if they can put one up at the entrance to the store. The other ones are smaller versions. I know I'm going to hang one up in my office, but we can anywhere that will allow us to hang one, we'll put one up.
Thank you. Any other questions on the raffle? Go ahead, Chelsea.
you have to repeat that.
Yeah, the question was, President Dean, from Teresa, is can the posters be picked up earlier, or does it have to wait till the following Wednesday?
Sorry, Tim, can you repeat the question?
Is this mic not working?
Is the green light on?
Yeah.
No, it was just, Teresa was just asking President Dean that for the posters, when they're printed, can she pick some up?
Yeah, once I get them from the printer, I'll email everybody and we'll be able to distribute them.
Good.
All right, thank you. And I believe everybody has seen the email that Tim sent out, so we can start posting those on our social media
Yes.
sites.
And I will have some more variations out as well to keep it interesting.
Thank you, Tim. Okay, the PEI potato campaign. As you know, the potatoes were picked up last week, Thursday. Thank you, Anne and Jeff, for doing that. And then they were distributed to the various organizations around town. So Anne, I think C4K got a large supply.
Next week when we do our Easter campaign, we're delivering.
Okay. And Jeff, you delivered to several locations?
To the Lots in Bradford, the Mental Health Center and the Bradford Food Bank. And Bradford also got some from Howard. So it's also got a food bank. It's 2 food banks in Bradford, which I didn't know. Now I did.
And the Innisfil Food Bank also got a
Yes.
supply, right?
Yeah.
And then there was also deliveries made to all 3 of the Troy Scott community fridges, and also to the kitchen at the Rosado Health and Wellness Center for the programs that they run there as well. So it was actually quite neat because they ended up being 5-pound bags of potatoes rather than 10 pounds, which are much more manageable, I think, for people to take. And everyone was very, very pleased and excited to be receiving the potatoes. So kudos to, which club was it? Was that North Bay Club that organized that? Which club was that, President Dean?
It was the Berry Club, or one of the Berry Clubs was the no, North Bay was the organizer. Sorry.
I thought it was North Bay, yeah. Okay, so a successful delivery there, so that's great. And I know Whitney has been posting on our social media sites to advertise that we were doing that. Okay, is Whitney on the call?
Yes.
Yes, she is. Whitney, do you want to talk about the Women and Children's Shelter donations?
Sure, thanks, Anne. So we are collecting for the Women and Children's Shelter for April. So if you can bring items on April 20th, that would be great. We are collecting school safe snacks, so peanut-free granola bars, pudding cups, Rice Krispies, that kind of stuff. And they're also accepting donations of gift cards to Walmart or any grocery stores if you're able and willing. So that's April 20th. If you can bring in items, that would be great.
Thanks, Whitney. Can I ask about the delivery to the Elizabeth Fry? Brandy, how did that go?
They were extremely happy and grateful, and the director expresses great thanks. She will be following up with you guys. They're in the middle of doing a few things over there, but all those supplies were desperately needed, and it's being put to great use.
That's great. Thanks, Brandy. Okay, next, Forest Scott Community Fridge donations. It was kind of a little bit of a sad situation last week because Rotary did not meet in person last week. So we didn't have the contributions to the fridge. And I came over on Thursday and the fridge was essentially empty. So I know the library put out an appeal for people to bring things to the fridge as well. And then Al and I delivered the potatoes, but it's nice to see today. And thank you to everybody who brought contributions today. There seems to be a fairly healthy stock in the fridge again. So I know the one up at the Y seemed like it was quite well stocked. And did you notice the one at Cookstown? How was that?
Probably maybe a third to half. It is, so I don't know that the stuff.
This one was literally empty. I mean, I think there was like 3 onions or something in it, right, Al, when we came the other day. It was sad, but it's nice to see that it's well stocked today. So thank you to everybody for the contributions.
Comment, Anne, about the one at Cookstown. It's at the very back of the library, at the back end. So I'm not sure, it's not advertised, so I'm not sure unless library staff direct people to
Okay,
it.
I'll mention
How many
that.
people are aware?
Yeah, I don't like the position of this one. And I know we've talked about it and they are going to try and find a better location because I think the location of this one prevents some people maybe from feeling comfortable at taking food. So, okay, thank you, Anne. Okay, any more old business before we move on to new business? Teresa, you had a question.
No,
I thought you did. Yeah, about the school parade or something.
I was at a student council meeting in February, and they're doing a parade for Mental Health Week, which is the week of May 1st to the 7th. So they've chosen the date, May 4th, and I offered the Rotary trained to partake in this walk. And they're going to be going down 25th Side Road to the plaza at IBR, have snacks, hot dogs, and then go back. And they're going to do a morning walk and an afternoon walk. And Ken Folder at City Council was supposed to get a hold of you in regards to getting the police car there as well. But I'll follow up with that.
Okay, President Dean, over to you.
Yeah, no, the principal sent us an email saying the vice principal would get a hold of me. Unfortunately, I did not get the email. Teresa did forward it to me last night. My plan was to talk to Jeff this afternoon or after this meeting to have a discussion on what we can do to facilitate it. I was waiting for an email that I never got, but apparently went to everyone else but myself.
I have promotional material for the Hike for Hospice that's updated to add Rotary as a supported by. Whitney, can I email that to you? I'm not sure if I have your correct email address.
Yes, absolutely.
I did reach out to get a logo and then I didn't hear back, so I might not have your right email address.
I'll send you a note.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I should get it. I'm just signing up to Club Runner, so I'll watch for it and figure it out if I don't see it, and then I'll send it to you to blast out, if that's okay.
Absolutely, sounds good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Monica, just you sent out an email earlier this week or last week. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? Mentor program.
Are you talking about the Move to Give? Or
Mentor program.
oh, the mentor. Sorry, I can hardly hear you. Yeah, so I did send out an email to everyone through Club Runner with regards to the mentorship program. And I did send out the pairing that Doug, Dean and I worked on. I have heard back, or we're copied in on a few communications, and it's looking like it's going to run great. So yeah, so if you guys could reach out to your pair and plan on either some form of communication, whether it be in person, virtual, definitely, hopefully you're comfortable with who you're set up with. And going forward, you can communicate through that way. If there's any questions, you can reach out to me. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thanks, Monica. Okay, any more old business before we move on to the new business? Okay, Al.
There's got one.
Sorry. Oh, who's got the hand up?
Hi, Ann. Doug here. Just a quick one. I've heard a little bit back from a couple of people about potential RILA candidates. So second call here, second call. Anybody has a RILA candidate for the end of May weekend RILA conference? We talked about it at a meeting. If anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly and ask. And if I've also put a call into the high school, and if anybody has a way to manage through the high school system to talk to a real live person, again, please contact me because I've left multiple messages and I'm getting a little stonewalled, and I just want to make sure that we fill those spots. And I don't want to have spots going empty if we think it's the right thing to do. So any help would be appreciated. Just let me know, reach out. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug.
So Doug, I just wanted to let you know that I contacted my neighbor and she was on the link crew and she's going to connect me with her guidance person.
Right. Okay, moving on to new business, pitching. Al, would you like to take the mic?
Okay, so pitch-in day in Innisfil, for the last couple of years, it's been, it hasn't worked. However, this year, pitch-in day is back. It's Saturday, May the 14th. In the mornings, people will be going to Firehouse, picking up garbage bags and gloves and going out and cleaning the streets. 2 weeks before that, I have almost 4,000 students go out and clean the streets around the schools. It's a really big deal. And when it did work before COVID, it was a very successful thing. We picked up tons and tons of garbage. So traditionally, the Rotary Club, we have an appreciation barbecue at noon at Centennial Park on the Saturday to thank all the people. We usually get a couple of hundred people there. And traditionally, Rotary has looked after the barbecue, doing the cooking and serving. Jeff does the cooking, and we always have a couple of Rotarians who serve to the people. We don't have to supply anything. We don't have to supply the barbecue, just bodies. So I'm asking the club for your support again. And another little part of this is it would be nice if our Rotary Club could also participate in cleaning the streets. We could pick an area. Jeff's our environmental chair. So maybe through Jeff and me, you can let me know an area where you feel needs some attention. And on that morning, maybe we could have some Rotarians go there, do some cleaning up. Now, I'll supply you with garbage bags and gloves. You don't have to take the garbage home with you. Leave it at the side of the road. We make arrangements for the town staff to pick up the garbage. So once again, Pitch In is back. And we're really looking forward to this. It's a very important thing for the kids in the school and the citizens. So yes, Ann. Oh, and I'm sorry, and I missed that last meeting, and I don't know anything about it. But
Just that last year, 15 people who wanted to help us to register online.
okay,
This year, they're asking people to do the same. So you can go to the fire stations to pick up your bundle packages.
Right.
Stuff you need to pick up.
Right.
But if you can register online before that.
yeah, and you don't have to go to the fire hall in the morning to pick the stuff up. I will get supplies to you before that. So it would be nice if we could have a little team cleaning the streets. But Jeff, thank you for stepping up. Jeff and his wife always look after the cooking, and we're looking for a couple of servers. Thank you very much.
Anybody who's willing to volunteer to service, please let Alan know. Okay. Janet, do you want to do your learning corner? Then we may have time for a quick good news round as well.
So did you know that we have 1.4 million members worldwide? That's up from 1.2. So when I started in 2010, 12 years ago, we kept on being 1.2 million. It was always 1.2 million. We are now up to 1.4 million, which is fantastic. There's been 47 million volunteer hours each year to help transform communities. So everything that we're doing within our community gets totaled and it gets put into Rotary.org under my club runner area, and it actually goes in for our volunteer hours. There's also $333 million has been awarded for global service initiatives in 2020 to 2021 to fund sustainable programs. So a lot of the things that we've done in the past where we've got grants, whether they're district or global grants, they all come back to our community. So if you want to find out more about this, go to Rotary.org and you can find out a little bit more about how those funds are allocated, how those volunteers are collected. But also, for instance, I was at Tiffin Conservation Area on Sunday, and it had the Barrie Rotary clubs there doing their Maple Syrup Festival. And they made between $25,000 and $30,000 just from doing that every year. And that money gets funded back into their projects. So check some of those out. It was really neat talking to some of the Rotarians that were there. So have a good day, everyone.
Thank you, Janet. Okay, it's 8:22. I'm not sure we have time for a complete full round, but does anybody have anything they would like to share today? I can't say. Debbie? Okay.
Actually, it's more of a question. I wanted to know if anybody else has signed up for this weekend's Rotary weekend and who I can expect to see online.
Speed. So I can jump up on that one. So yes, Debbie, I'll be there for sure. Looking forward to seeing you. And also just a quick good news round thing. If anybody's interested, I'm actually with Toastmasters. I'm actually doing a speech tomorrow night. It will be based on mentorship. So it actually may fit into what we're talking about here. So if anybody's interested in checking out the meeting, let me know and I'll send the contact. It's all Zoom. They're not going in person yet. So it's all Zoom based. So, which isn't as fun to do speeches, but hey.
Anybody else online have anything you would like to share today? Doug, are you still down in Florida?
Yep, down in Florida. The picture behind me, actually, we just took a couple days ago. So Al was talking about going and seeing the boys this summer. 3 miles up the road here is the Atlanta Braves spring training camp. And of course, the Blue Jays played. So we went up and saw the Blue Jays, and they just about made the comeback in the top of the ninth with a fly right to the wall. Unfortunately, it didn't go out, and we lost by 1 run.
Okay. Anybody else? No? President Dean, would you like to say anything before we bring the meeting to a close then?
I actually had to leave. He had to run to a
Oh,
meeting.
I had to leave.
Sorry.
Okay. All right, well, I'm off to the UK tomorrow, babysitting. So Hawaii was fantastic. I'm still jet lagged from there.
So
and then
our
we've got
world,
the
our
opposite
world
direction.
traveler here.
Yeah, but I will call into the meeting next week from the UK. So good to see everyone. It's just a quick visit over there, and hope everybody has. Go ahead, Janet.
I'm just gonna say, don't forget, we have the Rotary Learning Institute. Starts, I think, the 23rd. Don't have time to register, so maybe that's something that you're interested in. It's not just about leadership, it's about Rotary. And it's for 3 hours, for 3 Saturdays in a row, and it's $20 flat fee for the whole day. So
And it's awesome. It is
Great.
great, great course.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm actually one of the presenters.
Oh, good for you.
Very.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
I'm also doing a lot of stuff.
Great, thanks, Janet.
And just for a bit of a learning corner, this weekend, for those that aren't military people, Saturday is Vimy Ridge Day. So CFB Borden's doing an event where they're actually going out to their monument and doing a bit of a ceremony. And then, so you'll see the flags around town hall at half mast and other places. So it's to recognize the sacrifices given.
Thank you, Chief Fletcher. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a great
Okay.
week.